What's up, everyone? You're here at Tutu on the beach. Today is a very special interview we got to do. We got to talk to His Excellency Andrew Ford, the High Commissioner of Australia.
Yep.
And it was amazing, not just to talk about the aid that is coming from overseas, but we also got to hear from him as well. How did it feel for him being part of Cyclone Gita?
Yeah. Hangi kong mo mea ko e video ko ni ko e interview ia pa mo High Commissioner ko ia Australia ki Tonga Andrew Ford pe wahe tonu ai to taha ko ni and experience pe ko ne usia I he afa pe ka ngata I ta no fuka pa mo to kon ma Australia ki Tonga ofa tu te mo to ko tambe and enjoy the video.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm as you know, Josh, I'm the Australian High Commissioner to Tonga, and been here for 2 years. And of course, I was here the other day when Cyclone Gita hit, and it was a scary experience, like it was for many people. The house I was in, which was a friend's house, some of the roof came off, and the door was flying open with 200km/h winds. So it's very scary. We managed to get the door closed, and we managed to get through the night. And then in the morning, my first, most important thing I needed to do was make sure all my staff were safe. So we spent a little while trying to find them. We drove. They were only a few hundred meters away in another house, but I drove. All the roads were blocked. Though people were already starting to clear the roads, but there were power lines and things on the roads. So eventually, I got put on a pair of gumboots and waded through water. And found them, and they were all well and safe, and they were really pleased to see me. They were worried that maybe they'd lost their boss, and so then we quickly got down to once we determined everyone was safe, we made sure that we had somewhere to work. We then got down to the business of trying to arrange some supplies to come to Tonga as quickly as possible. So because we knew the cyclone was coming, the army had already got together and started to put together some materials that would be needed for those early days. So my day began with cyclone and ended with to meet a big C-17 Globemaster with 7 huge pallets of supplies to the Tongan people. So a New Zealand plane and an Australian plane both arrived on the evening of the cyclone. Evening of the day after the cyclone hit. So within 12 hours we had supplies and people on the ground. Some of the people we brought in on that flight are sitting behind me here in this operations centre where we've been working out of, and they've been doing a fantastic job. You'll see them also wearing the same shirts as me. So the most important thing to begin with was to help people meet their basic needs. So we brought in supplies for shelter. So tarpaulins and tents and kitchen supplies, hygiene kits, and so they were all brought in, and so Nemo and the Red Cross have had those supplies, and over the last period since then have been distributing them. We've also brought in another 5 plane loads since then of various supplies that are needed to get people through those early times. Some really exciting news is this afternoon I'll be going out to the airport again. I'm meeting a plane that's going to have some lines workers on it who are going to work beside the excellent people from Tonga Power and help them to get the power back on, because that's one of the big things. I know that a lot of people are living in shelters or houses that don't have power, and that's a big factor. So Tonga Power requested, and the government requested that we assist with that. So one of the best ways we can assist is actually just getting the power workers out here. So Australian and New Zealand power workers will also be arriving in the next day or two, working alongside. And we're also bringing in a couple of generators, and those generators will be used so for some of the villagers who otherwise might have to wait a bit longer for their power, they'll be able to have some power in their village until the power lines can be put back into place again. So we know how important it is for people to have power and water and shelter, and so we're working closely with the Tongan government and the Tongan people to meet those needs. I just want to say, Josh, one of the things is we're doing all these wonderful things, but what's really wonderful is seeing the strength and resilience of the Tongan people. So I told my friends at church on Sunday that there's no place I want to be, I'd rather be right now than here in Tonga. just to see how people are responding, the way communities are getting together to help each other to clean up the rubbish and move things, to clean the roads. Roads were clear even on that day, that first day, so that we could get the truckloads all the way back into Nuku'alofa. So absolutely amazing to see the community spirit. And then when I was out visiting some villages on the eastern side the other day, there were people had smiles on their faces even though the roof had blown off or they had no walls on their house. So it's just amazing to see that community spirit and to see how resilient and strong the Tongan people are. So it gives me great confidence that even though there's a hard road ahead to get things back to the way they were before, that the Tongan people have the capacity, the resilience, the strength and the good humour to be able to do that. And part of the good humour is you guys, and I really support the work and the great stuff that Tutu on the beach does to keep people's morale up, because I think we're going to need that over the coming days and weeks to keep smiling, keep laughing, keep listening to the good music, and remember that Mate Mā Tonga spirit from only a few months ago when the whole country came together to support the change. So I think these are difficult times ahead, but I think there are also times of great opportunity. Out of a crisis comes opportunity, and a great opportunity to rebuild the country again and rebuild the things that have been destroyed and make them even better.